Listen closely, not with your ears, with the part of you that's tired of pretending everything is fine. Because today isn't just another sunrise. Today is a reckoning, a break in the pattern, a moment where your old life loses its grip and you step into the version of yourself you should have been all along. Most people wait for the right moment. They wait for the mood, they wait for permission, and that's why they stay exactly where they are, stagnant, predictable, forgettable. But you're here because you feel something shifting, a pressure building in your chest, a quiet anger at every wasted hour, every swallowed truth, every moment you played small. Good. That anger is fuel, and today you're going to ignite it. This is the Machiavelli Code -- not about cruelty, but about clarity. Not about domination, but about understanding how the world actually works and refusing to be its victim ever again. From this moment forward, your life becomes strategic, cold where it needs to be, focused where it must be, untouchable because you choose to be. If you're ready, comment this right now. I choose power over excuses. Absorb it. Section 1. Ruthless self-interrogation. Before you rebuild your life, you must burn down the illusion you've been living inside. And that starts with a question most people run from. What part of my life is still controlled by weakness? Don't flinch. This is where your power begins. Look at your habits, your distractions, your so-called reasons. Every one of them is either sharpening you or sedating you. Machiavelli understood something most men never grasp. People don't fail because the world is against them. They fail because they refuse to confront themselves with cold honesty. So today, right now, you're going to interrogate your life like a strategist studying an enemy. Except you are the enemy. Your laziness, your indecision, your fear of disappointing others, your addiction to comfort, call it out, expose it, strip it of the power it pretends to have. Because a man who cannot dominate himself will never dominate his life. This is the moment your identity shifts, not through emotion, but through brutal clarity. You don't need positivity, you need precision. You need direction, you need control. If you're claiming that control, comment this now. My discipline is my new authority. Let those words settle. Then tell me when you're ready for the next section. Section 2. The day you become dangerous. There comes a point in every man's life when he realizes something unsettling. The version of himself he has been protecting is the same version that has been holding him back. Today is the day you stop protecting that version. Today is the day you become dangerous. Not reckless, not chaotic, but strategic, sharp, cold, uncompromising in the pursuit of what matters. A dangerous man isn't loud. He doesn't threaten. He doesn't boast. He simply moves with the quiet confidence of someone who knows his value and doesn't need validation from anyone breathing. Dark psychology teaches one undeniable truth. People treat you according to the level of strength you project, not the softness you feel. You've been too soft in the wrong places, too forgiving with people who haven't earned it, too generous with your time, your energy, your mind. That ends here. Because a man becomes dangerous the moment he decides he will no longer negotiate his worth, not with friends, not with family, not with society, not even with his own doubts. Machiavelli would tell you that power belongs to those who act, not those who hesitate. And this is your initiation into becoming the kind of man who acts without waiting for approval. So ask yourself, who would you be if you stopped explaining yourself? Stopped apologizing for your ambition, stopped dimming your strength to make others comfortable. That man, the unapologetic, disciplined, self-directed version of you, is the one you're building today. Comment this to mark the shift. I rise without permission. Let it echo in your mind. Let it anchor you, and when you're ready for the next section, say next. Section 3. Relentless self-mastery. Power doesn't come from luck, talent, or opportunity. It comes from self-mastery, the discipline to command your own mind, emotions, and actions, even when everything in you wants the easy way out. Most men crave control over their circumstances. Few understand the truth. You only gain control over the world after you gain control over yourself. And that starts with one brutal realization. Your life right now is a reflection of the standards you've been willing to tolerate. Every missed opportunity, every half-finished project, every person who drains you, every goal that keeps slipping out of your hands. It all points to one root cause: you allowed it. Machiavelli wrote that a leader must be both lion and fox. The lion for strength, the fox for strategy. But before you can be either, you must be the master of the impulses that normally sabotage you. Your laziness? Master it. Your anger? Master it. Your insecurities? Master them until they bend beneath your direction instead of dragging you around like a puppet. This isn't about perfection. It's about dominion over your inner world. The man who wakes up and follows his plan instead of his mood. That man is dangerous. The man who can delay gratification while others chase quick dopamine. That man becomes unstoppable. The man who can hold his composure when everyone else is emotional. That man becomes a fortress. Understand something: discipline isn't punishment. It's liberation. People who lack discipline live short-term lives. They react instead of strategizing. They want results without structure, respect without consistency, success without sacrifice. And then they wonder why they feel powerless. But not you, not anymore. You're crafting a new internal order. A personal hierarchy where your higher self commands and your weaker instincts obey. When you stick to your standards, even when no one is watching, you become the type of man others study, even if they won't admit it. You become the type of man who intimidates simply by existing. You become the type of man who no longer needs motivation because power has become your identity. If you claim that identity, comment this now. My mind follows my command. Absorb it, let it settle into your bones. And when you're ready to sharpen the next blade of your transformation, say next. Section 4, the fortress of absolute focus. Power demands isolation before it demands respect. The fourth stage of your transformation begins with withdrawing from the noise that has been shaping your thoughts without your permission. Most men are terrified of silence because silence exposes who they truly are. But you are not most men. Today, you will use silence as a forge, a place where weakness melts and clarity hardens into strategy. Your life has been cluttered with distractions disguised as obligations. Every notification, every empty conversation, every digital addiction has been draining the focus you need to become formidable. Machiavelli understood that a leader must guard his attention like a fortress. Attention is power, and power bleeds when you let everyone access your mind. So beginning now, you reclaim that power. You stop scattering your energy on people who offer no value. You stop entertaining opinions from individuals who have built nothing. You stop allowing emotional vampires to feed on your time. This next step is not about becoming antisocial. It is about becoming selective. You do not need more friends. You need more purpose. You do not need more entertainment. You need more execution. When you detach from the constant noise, something remarkable happens. Your thoughts become sharper, your intentions become stronger, and your inner voice becomes louder than the world. That voice is the architect of your future, but you can only hear it when you eliminate everything that competes with it. Dark psychology teaches a critical concept. Whoever controls your attention controls your behavior. If society controls your attention, society controls your destiny. If you control your attention, you control your evolution. That is why isolation is not weakness. It is preparation. The man who can sit alone without distraction is the man who can lead others without hesitation. During this phase, you will redesign your environment. Remove the triggers that make you weak. Replace them with reminders of who you are becoming. Structure your space so discipline becomes the path of least resistance. Structure your days so your goals become unavoidable. When your environment supports your ambition, your behavior transforms effortlessly. Understand this. Solitude sharpens the mind, but selective exposure strengthens your influence. You will step back into the world not as a follower seeking approval, but as a strategist evaluating opportunities. People will feel the shift. They will sense the distance. They will notice your focus. And while some may be threatened, the right individuals will be drawn to your rising power. Remember this: every empire begins in the mind of its creator, long before the world ever sees its walls. Your isolation is not retreat, it is construction. Your silence is not emptiness, it is strategy forming in the dark. Every hour you invest in yourself widens the gap between who you were and who you are becoming. Keep building, keep sharpening, keep ascending. Power favors the prepared. Stay disciplined, and your transformation will become completely impossible to ignore. If you're ready to claim this phase, comment, "My focus is my fortress." Section 5. Emotional sovereignty, the birth of inner command. Power grows in the shadows long before it shows itself in the light, and Section 5 is the moment you learn how to manipulate your inner world with ruthless precision. Most men never rise because they are ruled by impulses they refuse to acknowledge. You are done with that. Today, you learn the art of emotional sovereignty, the skill that separates those who react from those who conquer. Machiavelli understood that emotions are weapons, and the man who masters them becomes untouchable. But mastery does not mean suppressing what you feel. It means redefining your emotional responses into instruments of strategy. Anger becomes fuel. Fear becomes data. Stress becomes a signal for refinement. Weakness becomes a mirror pointing to the next level of strength. Every emotion you experience from now on is a message, not a chain. Dark psychology makes one truth painfully clear. People try to control you by manipulating your emotions. They provoke you, guilt-trip you, flatter you, pressure you, or overwhelm you because an emotional man is predictable. But a man who understands his emotional patterns becomes impossible to move. He chooses his reactions the way a general chooses his battles, carefully, strategically, and only when victory is inevitable. Your task is simple, but not easy. Observe every emotional spike without obeying it. When you feel anger rising, you do not explode, you analyze. When you feel insecurity creeping in, you do not shrink. You correct your posture, your breathing, your tone. When you feel fear whispering worst-case scenarios, you do not retreat. You gather information. You transform emotion into intelligence, and intelligence into action. This is how a man becomes emotionally invincible. He does not avoid feelings, he weaponizes them. He studies his triggers, he identifies his patterns. He strengthens the parts of himself that once sabotaged him. Over time, his emotional discipline becomes so refined that no insult can destabilize him, no failure can break him, and no manipulation can enter his mind without being detected. He becomes calm under pressure, sharp under stress, and composed in chaos. And here is the final truth of this stage. Emotional control is not about becoming robotic. It's about becoming sovereign over your internal kingdom. When your emotions work for you instead of against you, your decisions sharpen, your posture shifts, your presence deepens, and your confidence becomes quiet but undeniable. People feel it when you walk into a room. They sense that you are not swayed by gossip, fear, or pressure. They feel your stability and instinctively respect it. If you accept this power, comment, "I control the storm within." From this point forward, every emotional reaction becomes a training ground for mastery. When someone tries to provoke you, you use it to strengthen your neutrality. When life throws uncertainty at you, you use it to sharpen your resilience. When doubt creeps in, you convert it into focus. This is the mindset that transforms ordinary men into tacticians of their own internal warfare. You begin to study yourself with the same intensity you once wasted on studying your obstacles. You turn vulnerability into strategy, hesitation into momentum, and confusion into clarity. The more you refine this skill, the more you separate yourself from the average man who is controlled by impulses he doesn't understand. You rise above him not because you are lucky, but because you are disciplined. You rise because you choose structure over chaos, purpose over distraction, and mastery over emotion. With each controlled breath, you carve a sharper identity, one built on intention rather than impulse, on strength rather than softness, on discipline rather than desire and certainty rising. Section 6. Strategic detachment, the art of becoming unreachable. The next phase of your evolution is strategic detachment, the ability to remove emotional dependence from anything that weakens your power. Most men live chained to people, outcomes, and expectations that drain their strength, and they do it unknowingly. They cling to relationships out of fear, routines out of habit, and identities out of insecurity. But power begins the moment you detach from the things that no longer serve your ascent and reclaim the authority to choose your path without hesitation. Detachment is not indifference, it is precision. It is choosing who earns your time, what earns your attention, and where your energy flows. You stop pouring effort into dead situations. You stop explaining yourself to people committed to misunderstanding you. You stop seeking validation from crowds who never built anything themselves. Instead, you move with the calm assurance of someone who knows he can walk away from anything that compromises his standards. A Machiavellian mind understands that attachment makes you predictable, and predictability makes you vulnerable. The world manipulates those who fear loss. But when you become a man who accepts loss as part of the game, you become immune to pressure. People can no longer control you by threatening to leave, by withholding approval, or by offering conditional acceptance. You operate from strength rather than need. Strategic detachment also applies to outcomes. You plan meticulously, you act decisively, but you release the emotional weight of expecting everything to unfold perfectly. Perfection is for idealists. Progress is for strategists. You adapt as conditions change. You pivot when opportunities evolve, and you remain unmoved when obstacles appear. Detachment gives you agility, and agility wins wars, internal and external. To master this stage, you must analyze your attachments with ruthless honesty. Who drains you? Who distracts you? What habits keep you stagnant? What fears keep you compliant? The moment you identify them, you cut their influence. You create boundaries so sharp they function like walls. You protect your mental real estate because it fuels your destiny. And when someone tries to cross a boundary, you enforce consequences without guilt. Understand this: detachment does not make you cold, it makes you sovereign. It gives you the freedom to operate from intention instead of desperation. It transforms your presence into something rare, calm, controlled, and internally fortified. People sense it instantly. They notice you no longer react emotionally. They feel your silence become heavier. Your gaze becomes sharper. Your actions become more deliberate. They recognize that you are no longer reachable in the ways you once were. If you claim this level of power, comment, "I release what weakens me." Strategic detachment is the foundation of unstoppable momentum. When you free yourself from unnecessary weight, your ambition accelerates, your mind clears, your purpose intensifies. You invest only in what elevates you, aligns with you, and strengthens you. This is how you become a man who cannot be cornered, pressured, or broken, because nothing owns you. Not people, not fears, not impulses, not expectations. Only your mission remains. When you reach this level, your life begins to reorganize itself around your rising standard. New opportunities emerge because you now have space for them. Old obstacles fall away because you no longer feed them attention. People who once drained you either adapt or disappear, and the version of you that tolerated mediocrity dissolves permanently. You become a man guided by mission rather than emotion, strategy rather than impulse, clarity rather than chaos. This is the silent transformation that shifts your destiny long before anyone notices. Detachment becomes your shield, discipline becomes your weapon, and purpose becomes your compass. Every step you take from this point forward is deliberate, powerful, and aligned with the man you are building. And when the world tests you, as it always does, you will stand unshaken, because your strength no longer comes from what you hold on to, but from what you can walk away from without losing yourself. That is true power. That is sovereignty. That is the point of no return. From here, every decision you make compounds your power. Every boundary you enforce expands your freedom, and every sacrifice sharpens the empire you're creating. Section 7. Calculated influence. The power to move the world without moving yourself. Influence is not about speaking loudly, demanding attention, or forcing your presence into a room. True influence is silent, precise, and deliberate. It is the ability to shift minds, steer conversations, and set the tone without ever raising your voice or exposing your full intentions. In this stage of your transformation, you learn how to shape the world without letting the world shape you. Most men chase influence through approval. They want to be liked, accepted, praised, or admired. But a Machiavellian mind understands something far more powerful. Influence is not earned through pleasing people. It is earned through projecting strength, clarity, and control. The moment people sense that you do not need validation, their respect for you multiplies. The less you rely on others, the more they gravitate toward you. To build calculated influence, you must first understand leverage. Every interaction contains invisible lines of power. Who leads, who follows, who concedes, who decides, who adapts. The average man is blind to these dynamics. But you will learn to see them instantly. You will recognize who holds the psychological advantage, and you will know how to claim it without conflict or confrontation. This begins with emotional neutrality. When you remain calm while others get reactive, you automatically take the dominant position. People instinctively trust the man who does not panic. They follow the one who stays composed when tension rises. They look to the one who speaks last, listens longest, and chooses his words with intention instead of impulse. Your silence becomes a strategic weapon. Your patience becomes a signal of power. Your presence becomes the anchor in every room you walk into. But influence also requires selective revelation. Never show your full mind, your full plan, or your full hand. A predictable man is a controllable man. You reveal only what directs the situation in your favor. You speak with purpose. You offer information strategically. You withhold anything that dilutes your leverage. You allow curiosity to work for you rather than against you. When people cannot fully read you, they begin to project their own assumptions onto you. They wonder what you're thinking, what you're planning, what you're capable of. That uncertainty creates power. People do not fear clarity. They fear possibility. And when they cannot predict you, they instinctively respect you. To amplify your influence, refine your non-verbal presence. Your posture must communicate certainty. Your eye contact must be steady but never aggressive. Your movements must be deliberate, never rushed. Psychology shows that humans instinctively associate slow, controlled movement with authority. You become the man who moves with intention while others scramble with urgency. Strategic influence also requires emotional detachment from outcomes. You must speak and act from a place of internal stability, not desperation. When you want something too badly, approval, attention, agreement, you lose leverage. People sense desire, and desire makes you vulnerable. But when you operate with the mindset that you can walk away from any situation, you convert the psychological power dynamic instantly. You become the chooser, not the chosen. Next, you must understand social mirroring. People open up to those who reflect their energy without copying it. They trust those who subtly match their rhythm, tone, and demeanor. But unlike manipulators who mirror to gain advantage, you mirror to gain insight. You use it to read people deeply, their motivations, their fears, their insecurities. The more you understand someone's psychological blueprint, the more precisely you can influence them. You also learn the power of strategic unpredictability. Predictable behavior creates comfort for others, but limits your power. Controlled unpredictability, subtle breaks in routine, unexpected silence, shifts in pace, keeps people alert and attentive. They never quite know what move you'll make, and that uncertainty elevates your influence across every interaction. But influence is not manipulation. It is leadership without announcement. You guide conversations by steering them subtly. You redirect negativity without reacting to it. You shift emotional atmospheres with your tone and composure. You speak in statements, not questions. You communicate confidence instead of seeking it. And most importantly, you cultivate a life that commands influence automatically. When your actions, habits, and standards rise, people sense your strength. Influence becomes a byproduct of excellence. You no longer chase respect. You radiate the kind of energy that makes people adjust themselves around you. You no longer demand authority. You embody it so clearly that others offer it without being asked. This is how a man becomes psychologically untouchable, not by force, but by presence, not by manipulation, but by mastery, not by controlling others, but by controlling himself so completely that others cannot help but follow his lead. If you embrace this level of influence, comment, "I move the world with intention." Every word you speak, every silence you hold, every boundary you enforce becomes a tool of power. This is the Machiavellian art of influence. This is the masculine psychology of command. And this is the moment your presence begins reshaping the world around you. Section 8, Elite Execution, the blueprint of unstoppable men. Execution is the dividing line between those who dream and those who dominate. At this stage of your transformation, you step into the realm of elite performance, the level where intentions mean nothing unless they manifest into results. Most men talk about improvement, imagine discipline, fantasize about success, yet never act with the force required to change their lives. But you are no longer most men. You are crafting yourself into someone whose actions speak louder than every excuse that once controlled you. Elite execution begins with ruthless clarity. You identify what truly matters, not vague ambitions or emotional impulses, but specific, measurable priorities that define your direction. When you know exactly what you want, hesitation evaporates. You design your environment, your habits, and your schedule around your mission. Everything else becomes noise. Machiavelli understood that great achievements are engineered, not wished into existence. So you stop waiting for motivation. You build systems that make consistency non-negotiable. Systems defeat laziness. Systems eliminate willpower fatigue. Systems turn discipline into something automatic rather than emotional. Next comes momentum, the invisible force that compounds your progress. You don't rely on grand gestures or rare bursts of effort. You rely on relentless, consistent action. Small steps, taken daily, accumulate into overwhelming advantage. Every repetition, every hour of practice, every disciplined choice becomes a brick in the foundation of your future strength. There is another law of elite execution. No self-betrayal. When you make a promise to yourself, you keep it. Every time you follow through, you strengthen your identity. Every time you break your word, you weaken your belief in your own potential. A man who trusts himself becomes unstoppable because he knows he will do what must be done. Strategic simplification is essential. Complexity kills progress. You eliminate distractions, reduce clutter, and focus only on the tasks with the greatest impact. Busyness is not productivity. Movement is not advancement. You chase efficiency, not chaos. Execution also demands emotional maturity. You act regardless of mood. You don't negotiate with laziness, fear, or discomfort. When resistance appears, you move through it. When doubt whispers, you silence it with action. Every completed task reinforces your dominance over your weaker impulses. As you execute, people begin to notice. Your consistency becomes intimidating. Your discipline becomes inspiring. Your reliability becomes magnetic. Opportunities gravitate toward the man who proves himself through behavior rather than talk. Elite execution transforms you into someone others study but cannot imitate. They see the results but never understand the self-mastery behind them. They watch your rise while they remain trapped in cycles of hesitation. If you are ready to operate at this level, comment, "I execute without mercy." This is the path to unstoppable momentum. This is how a man becomes inevitable. Section 9. Unshakable presence. The aura of the untouchable. Presence is not something you perform. It's something you emanate. It's an energy that speaks before your mouth does. A silent authority that reshapes the atmosphere the moment you enter a room. In this stage, you craft the kind of presence that makes people adjust their posture, choose their words carefully, and instinctively respect your space without knowing why. Unshakable presence comes from internal alignment. When your actions match your standards, when your discipline matches your ambition, when your mindset matches your mission, your presence becomes undeniable. People feel the weight of a man who is not at war with himself. They sense the steadiness in your posture, the clarity in your eyes, the deliberate tone in your voice. Nothing is louder than a man who is silent because he is certain. Machiavelli understood that the most powerful leaders did not command through noise. They commanded through conviction. Your presence becomes a psychological anchor. Others look to you for cues without realizing they are doing it. Your calm becomes contagious. Your confidence becomes directional. Your energy becomes the unspoken hierarchy in the room. This presence is built through stillness, true stillness. Not laziness, not passivity, but composed awareness. You do not rush, you do not fidget, you do not fill silence with nervous words. You let the silence work for you. People fear silence because it forces authenticity. You use it as a tool to study dynamics, to guide conversations, to maintain control. Unshakable presence also comes from detachment. You don't chase approval. You don't cling to outcomes. You don't react to provocations. When someone tries to test you, you respond with measured calm. When someone seeks validation, you offer clarity, not flattery. When someone attempts manipulation, you see through it instantly. This neutrality creates power because it shows you cannot be moved emotionally. You become the man others measure themselves against. If you claim this level of presence, comment, "I stand unshaken." Your presence becomes your armor. Your silence becomes strategy. Your aura becomes influence. And the world responds to you differently because you carry yourself differently. This is the psychological transformation of the untouchable.